Now, back to the Lance James Show on Talk 650.
And welcome back to the Lance James Show.
It is time for Ask America's Lawyer.
Taking your phone calls at 1-866-331-TALK.
Our first caller is Victoria. Your question, please.
Well, my question is, my hopefully soon-to-be ex-husband was abusive and took a bunch of money from me. Well, I found out that he had done the same thing to his first wife, and his friends and family didn't warn me. Can I sue his friends and family for not telling me about this?
So they knew all about it, and they didn't say anything to you?
Correct.
They knew about it before you got married, and you think they have a duty to you somehow to come clean about him and say, you know, you're about to marry a real first-class jerk.
Right.
No. The answer is no. You can't sue for that.
Really?
Nope. Sorry.
Well, can I sue you because you didn't give me the answer I wanted?
See, she sounds a lot nicer than she probably is, right?
No, I'm afraid not. No, the answer would be no.
Thank you, Victoria.
Thanks for calling. Roger, welcome to the show. What's going on?
Well, I've got a grandson that got into some trouble, and he was arrested, and quite a bit of trouble, and they want to give him a public defender, and I've always kind of heard that they were second-class attorneys. So I want to know, is a public defender a good attorney, or should I spend the bucks on getting a private attorney?
Public defenders can be excellent attorneys. They get a really bad rap in the press and on TV. How much trouble is he in? Are we talking like he's in custody, high bail, felony type trouble?
He's in custody, high bail, felony trouble.
Oh, boy, I'm sorry to hear that. How old is he?
21.
Any problems in his past? Is this something that just came up?
Well, this is his second arrest. They said something about a strike. He had a strike against him or something like that.
Oh, a strike. Yeah, this is a serious case. Good thing about public defenders, they are much better than people think. I think you should go with the public defender. You can always watch and see what happens. And if you don't think that your grandson's being represented adequately, you can always go to a private lawyer route. Now let's go to Jamie. Jamie, what's happening?
Hey, Jamie. Hey, what's your question?
My 16-year-old son wants to move in with his 18-year-old girlfriend, and I want to know if this is legal.
Before that even happens, how do you feel about your 16-year-old son having an 18-year-old girlfriend?
Well, she was 17 at the time they started dating, and now she's 18, so I don't know what to feel about that. But
I mean, is she a pretty nice girl? Do you get along with her? Or?
She's a nice girl, yeah.
Okay.
But, my son doesn't get along with his father, and he wants to move out. And I'm going on the basis that it's not legal, so that's my argument at this point. And I mean, if they have sex and it's consensual sex, does that constitute rape if she's 18 and he's 16?
You know what the answer is? The answer is probably not. You know what? You want to know why?
I want to know. I want to know why.
Okay, because used to be if you're under 18, it didn't matter whether your girlfriend is 17 and you're 18 and you've dated all the way through high school. Technically, you violated the law. She's underage. She legally cannot consent, and they would be prosecuting people for that.
Okay.
Enlightened states have come up with the idea that, oh, come on, they're high school sweethearts, as long as they're not more than 3 years older than somebody starting at age 16. So if he's 16 or 17 and she's no more than 3 years older than him at the time, no violation of the statute.
Okay.
Okay? You're still responsible for him, and you're taking care of him, but he's just on his own. You don't want a problem with Child Protective Services that, he's not getting medical treatment or food or whatever it is. So I would look to having him become an emancipated minor. That's one. That's the civil side. And it may protect you from any kind of CPS violation, Child Protection Services in your area. The criminal problem is with her, but the statute protects because she's no more than 3 years older. She's 18. He's 16.
Yeah, try to talk him out of it. We all see that that's Stevie Wonder could see that's a bad plan.
Mike in Marysville, what's going on?
I have a question about some problem neighbors. We live in a hilly neighborhood where all the yards are at different levels. And recently a couple moved in next door, and they have 2 poodles that bark constantly when we can't even sit on our patio without these dogs yapping at us. And I tried talking to them, and they just ignore me. So I was wondering if there's any legal action that I could take to get this stopped.
Actually, there is. First thing I would do, though, is I would send a letter to your neighbors if you've already tried talking with them and say, look, we live in a neighborhood. We all want to enjoy the peace and quiet of it. And I don't want to cause any problems, but I'd like to work this out with you. And put that in a letter. The reason you do that is because now if they say that you've never spoken to them or they had no idea, you've got some kind of a...
You got documentation.
Right, and I would send it certified, too, so they'd have to sign for return receipt and regular mail.
There you go.
And that way you can prove that they got it and that they were on notice. And then I'd go to animal control. And animal control will send somebody out there if they have to and talk to them about noise abatement. And then there's actually, if you go online, they have forms for things like nuisance dogs.
Barking dog laws.
Yeah, you can. They actually have complaints to that. You can go to small claims and sue them and get a judgment.
Next, we go to Phil. Phil, what's going on?
I made a deal with this guy. It was a verbal agreement. He had this bike on sale, this motorcycle that I really, really wanted, and it was $1,200. But I didn't have $1,200. But what he and I agreed to was I would give him a $100 deposit, and over a period of time, I would pay off that $1,200. 6 months into the deal, I find out that he has sold the motorcycle. And when asked if I could either get the bike back or my $100 back, he's telling me no. Can I take this guy to court?
Well, now, did you have anything in writing?
No, I did not. It was a verbal agreement. It was a handshake agreement. The guy's my friend. I mean, you know.
Did you make any other payments besides the $100 deposit?
No, that was it. It was just $100. It was a down payment. It was considered a down payment on the bike.
Well, did he expect some kind of monthly payment? Did you make any kind of arrangements? I can give you X per month.
No, it was just like, you know, look, within the 10 or 11 months, I'll come up with $1,200.
Okay, well, you're out of luck. You're not going to get the bike back. He sold it. The deposit, did you have some discussion as to whether it was refundable or non-refundable after a certain point in time you didn't pay him?
No, we did not. I mean, you know, those issues didn't come up because at the time, you know, the intent was I'm going to buy the bike, he's going to sell me the bike.
So is he still a friend of yours?
Not anymore.
You can take him to small claims court, but think about this. You're going to have to pay a filing fee for small claims. You're going to have to pay someone to serve him with a copy of the notice of the complaint. And before you know it, you burned up the $100. And then you got aggravation, and now you've taken someone who might be a friend again someday. He may come back to you and say, you know what, I did you wrong. I'm really sorry. Here's your $100. And you're going to ruin it forever. Do you want to take that chance?
No, I guess not.
Yeah, I just let it go. See what happens on this one. Next, let's go to Paula. Her life is going to the dogs.
Okay, hey, Paula, welcome to the show. And what is your question, please?
I was just wondering, every time I walk my dog, my neighbor's dog, she lives across the street, is off leash, runs across the street to play with my dog, and it kind of scares me that he might get hit by a car, and somehow I'm going to be blamed for this. Should I call animal control or the police? Because my neighbor doesn't seem to care.
Have you spoken to your neighbor?
I have, and she doesn't seem to really care. It's one of those things where it's kind of like, oh, you know, he'll be fine, it's not a big deal, or maybe you should walk your dog over on my side of the street. But yeah, I almost feel like I need to change how I'm living my life in order to try and protect somebody else's animal.
No, you don't have to change your life. Sick animal control. She's violating the leash law. That kind of woman needs to be punished. Well, I'm assuming it's a woman, right?
Yes. Yes.
Well, Paula, you're a caring person, and you're making the world a better
You know,
place.
Jim, you're so mellow on this thing. How are you not excited about it? I have a dog myself. I rescued it from animal control. I tell everybody, you want a nice animal, you go to animal control, you let that animal pick you, and that's going to be a good pet. You're just over here like, yeah, it's another day at the office. I am mad about this.
I know. Well, we're the yin and yang. Only one of us can be upset at
Well, no. Why can't both of us be upset? And I just messed up my headphones. Hey, you know what? I want an update on this one. I want to know what happens with that neighbor. I want to call them myself.
Absolutely.
Really?
Thank you so much for your help.
You bet.
Okay.
Anytime. Hey, pal Joey, welcome to the show.
Hi, how are you?
I'm just fine. What's going on?
Well, we were at work, and we had a client come in, and they actually were behind closed doors with some employees in the company, and we're assuming that business as usual is taking place. They opened up the door, and the smell of marijuana came out of the office.
Marijuana, wow, that is a friendly office.
I mean, yeah, well, I mean, kind of hard to believe, but I mean, it's during work hours. One of the employees in the back just happened to have their child there, underage. My office is next door to the medical marijuana facility. And this particular client, their ties kind of run as a testing facility for the purity, I guess, of medical marijuana.
So they were doing some product sampling there. They were doing some field research, if you will.
That's what you can suspect was going on, yes.
So your question is, there's a 13-year-old there. Now, this is a happenstance, though. I mean, nobody knew that they were going to bring their son to work that day and someone's going to torch up.
No, of course not.
But here's my question as well. I mean, okay, they're inside that office with a kid there, bogging out, basically. Can the cops come in and go, wait a second, we're just going to arrest everyone here?
And police don't just blunder into places necessarily looking for potheads. Right. Okay. Right. Joey, sounds like you work at a very interesting place.
I work at a very interesting place, and I have to say it's interesting also because, the FedEx guy that comes in every day is constantly complaining about the smell of the medical marijuana facility next door to our office, and that we should complain consistently about it. And what if, he had actually come into the office when all of a sudden this interesting activity had taken place and actually filed some sort of complaint?
Okay, well, first of all, it's not legal to smoke in an office building, even cigarettes. That's against the law right there.
Yes.
No. You can't smoke at all, and that would include marijuana. So that's already a violation right there that would give the reason for the authorities to come in and cite. What does common sense tell you? Common sense would say don't smoke marijuana in an office building because it exposes other people that don't consent to it and shouldn't be there, and you're not supposed to smoke in an office building at all. It also could open up the company to civil suits.
Between you and me, who knows if that's how our business is technically being paid? I mean, You know
what? It's up to your employer, but I would say that if he or she doesn't want their business to go up in smoke, they better come down on that employee and say that that's not allowed. That's not proper.
This was the owner that did this.
Well, it was the owners that did this? Well, your employer is not showing good judgment, and you can take action, and I would suggest that you do so. Go see an employment lawyer. That was actually fun.
Hey, this is radio. If we're not having fun, we're not doing it right. More of your calls coming up
on The Lance James Show.
The Lance James Show on Talk 650.